We also talked a lot about new music, and she has a lot of new music on the way. She has 2 different albums in the works. One with her longtime collaborator Jeff Trott, who's behind some of her biggest hits, including If It Makes You Happy, My Favorite Mistake, and Soak Up the Sun. And she has another album that's full of all-star collaborations. You definitely want to stick around to hear the full list of legends that she has lined up for this album, including one Stevie Nicks.
Oh, hey, look at that.
And she also talked about working with Stevie again and how they became friends years ago. So here is our lovely chat with Sheryl Crow. Sharing some behind-the-scenes videos from the studio, and you mentioned that you're working on 2 different albums right now. What can you tell us about that so far?
Yeah, I don't know when either one of them is going to come out. I don't know which one will come out first. I imagine probably the collaborative one will. But I made a point on this record that I started a year ago of just calling friends that I've known forever, people I've loved and admired and who have been an inspiration to me since I was young, and asked them if they would collaborate with me on this record. And I co-wrote a song with Joe Walsh. I sang with Stevie Nicks. I recorded one of my favorite Keith Richards songs with Keith Richards. I recorded with Neil Young. I even recorded a song with Johnny Cash that he had recorded of mine before he passed away. Recorded a song I wrote for Willie Nelson, recorded it with him. And so there are just many things on this record that I am excited about. And the whole record started with my recording with Chris Christopherson, who is someone I love and admire. It's just been a real project of love. And the other record, I got together with my old writing buddy, Jeff Trott, and we made a record over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just totally kick-ass. I'm really proud of it.
That is quite the list of collaborators that you just listed off. I know. Could you have ever imagined, early in your career getting to work with, all these incredible names?
No. In fact, I still, when I reel off those names, I can't believe those people even know who I am. I'm such a small-town girl from Missouri still. But what a treat, what a treat.
And, you have a long history with Stevie. You've toured with her before, performed with her, are friends with her. How did that friendship start, and what is it like to work with one of your idols like that?
So I met Stevie, oh my gosh, this has been years and years and years ago, after Grammy's party. In fact, I have a picture of me and Stevie and Carly Simon and Anita Pointer from the Pointer Sisters and Bonnie Raitt. And I still have it up in my studio. It's such a monumental moment in my life and my career. And we became friends. She asked me to produce some tracks on one of her records after we worked together on Boys on the Side, I think it was. And we've just been very good friends ever since. She was one of the first people who called me after I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's just one of my favorite people on the planet. I love her and adore her.
And you mentioned getting back in the studio with Jeff Trott, who co-wrote some of your biggest hits. What's it like to reunite with him and work with him again?
Well, yesterday we were laughing. We were celebrating 20 years to the day that If It Makes You Happy came out. And, Jeff is like my, and I know his wife would not mind my saying this, he's like my musical husband. It's like he answers all my sentences like an old married couple. He plays the things that I want to hear. We have a great collaborative relationship. It's very free-flowing, and we just have really enjoyed working together. We got together this time. Jeff just moved here. He lives 3 minutes from my house. He and his family, and we couldn't write fast enough, so we're back on a roll.
And you mentioned that you live in Nashville now, so your last album, Feels Like Home, was recorded there. What's it like to record in Nashville versus Los Angeles?
Well, it's great. I didn't miss one night of dinner or putting my kids to bed, and yet I made a record.
Right.
It's fantastic to be able to walk up from the barn at 5:30 and eat with my kids and do their homework with them, put them to bed, and have a normal life and yet still be recording. And that's, for me, a huge change in my life, to be able to not have the pressure and to not feel like I'm missing out on life. It's been a really fun process. The country record was fun, and these last 2 records have been really, really rewarding.
Have you kind of continued in that country vibe, or are you going in a different direction on these the 2 new albums?
Well, I've always felt like my music had a lot of country inspiration. These two records are very, very early Sheryl Crow. And so people who are diehard fans, I think, will be excited that it's really a return to like the second and third record.
And, you are not always working on a specific album. Do you find yourself still writing when you're not working on an album, or do you try to kind of contain it to when you're in the album process?
It depends. I go through fits and starts. I haven't been as apt to write in the last couple of years because, I've just really been kind of kid-centric. I really enjoyed going out and playing, doing gigs here and there, not being on the road, and just being home, taking my kids on Boy Scout camping trips and things. And I haven't been in that mindset. But the last 6 months have been really fruitful for me as a writer. And I think I'll probably stay on that bend for a while.
I was actually at your concert last year at the Hollywood Bowl when the power went out, which was crazy.
Oh wow! Yes.
It was such
so weird.
Yeah, it was very insane, but it was such a great show, and the addition of the Bowl Orchestra really, brought something very cool into your music. What was that like working with them?
Oh man, I mean that's a dream come true to hear your music orchestrated. And I grew up listening to the Boston Pops, watching them on TV, and to get the opportunity to play in front of an orchestra and one that's as fine as LA. And the LA Symphony is particularly fun to play with because a lot of those people do like the movie string dates, and they do TV, and they're it's not like being in front of a real uptight orchestra. These people are, they're the best of the best, but they just really enjoy. They don't mind playing pop music too.
And, part of your advocacy has also been, just kind of being somebody who comments on the political realm, and it has been a really insane presidential election right now, and I'm wondering if you just, can share your thoughts on just observing, this presidential election.
Well, the one thing I would say is that I feel like our nation deserves better than what we've been dragged through the last 2 years, and it's my mission as soon as this election is done to have a petition up. I'm going to try to have a petition up as many places as I can for people to sign to limit the campaign season. Other countries limit their campaigns to 3 months or 6 weeks, and I think we've been hijacked by the ugliness of this election. So that is where I'm at. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote for Hillary, and then I'm going to move on with this mission of trying to stand up for limiting the amount of time that we get dragged through this mudslinging.
I really appreciate you talking to me today, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your covering it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheryl.